So I got a chance to watch the Deion Sanders 60-minute interview, and there are kind of two things that stuck out for me personally. Um, when they asked him what did he tell his guys in Jackson State when he left, he basically went to talk about the opportunity that he had. He did bring some guys with him, and this is my biggest gripe with Deion. Not what people say about Deion, but just with Deion. Um, Understand this. It was not Deion Sanders' responsibility to make the town of Jackson, better economically. It was not his job to make the school Jackson State better. It's something that he said he would do. It's something that he said he would do, which he did. He helped the economy out. I don't think that I knew that he wasn't going to stay there a long time. That's not part of Deion's MO. I'm not mad about that. I'm not upset about that. I'm not upset about him leaving, taking his kids with him. It was how he went out and how he talked about Jackson State and how he talked about the administration when he was not 110% aware and he didn't even know what was going on. He was not truthful about how he left. And he actually owed Jackson State money. I'm not sure if he paid. He probably took some of his Colorado salary and paid Jackson State. He actually owed because he left his contract early. He didn't understand what at-door sales versus online sales meant. So he didn't understand his contract. And then when he got presented with the money, he left out and he gave the whole Jackson State and HBCUs a bad name. That's the biggest gripe I have with Deion Sanders. And when he was asked that question or something around that question, where he told his guys, I thought it was a good opportunity for him to kind of reconcile and say, hey, look, it was a good time there, which he did. It was a good time there, brought some guys with me, kind of mend that relationship. But he didn't necessarily address it. So that moral responsibility, not more responsibility, that moral awareness or just conviction was absent. That's the biggest gripe. I love watching Deion. I love what he's doing right now at Colorado. But that's my biggest gripe is there a moral conviction of how he went out? And maybe we'll get that not now, but another decade, whatever, But that's my biggest thing, and I wish he would have had the opportunity to talk about that a little bit more. The second thing he talked about was Nick Saban. Nick Saban and Deion, he said they do all the Aflac commercials a lot, but he really applauded Nick Saban, and I was actually kind of happy he said this just because I do feel that Nick Saban is the best college football coach of all time, hands down. He's the Belichick. I may not like Belichick, may not like Nick Saban, but they're the best coaches of all time, at least in this modern day era, right? But he's the best coach, and Deion said that if he had just him being in the commercials, getting an ounce of just talking with Nick Saban, learning something from him, he said just a crumb of knowledge it means a lot to him. I think that type of reverence that he has for Nick Saban is remarkable. Just for him to go out and say that, and the interviewer asked him, he said, "Who's the best coach?" And he said, when you ask that man, it's like, who's the best football player? You're not going to say anybody else, right? So Deion said, what am I supposed to say, somebody else than FBS? Right? So he said, where's the mayor? I get that. But then he went on to say, talk about his time he spent with Nick Saban, especially when there was like some type of chatter that was going on about, Nick Saban and Deion going back and forth about whatever. But I don't think there was much of anything, but it happened during the summer. But just for him to say that, I think that it shows a lot of what Deion understands, the room that he's in with people, understands that, the knowledge he can get from certain people and respecting, the best coach of all time. So overall, good interview. I love what Deion's doing with Colorado. I like the fact. I'm not going to hold a grudge that he left HBUs in a bad way. Yeah, I think there should be a moral conviction there. At the same time, I love what he's doing. And I love the fight that him and his team, his whole staff, People understand that Deion Sanders is a mind, and watching a football player coach, a Hall of Famer coach, is different than watching someone else. All these other guys coach, especially of Deion's caliber at this level. We really haven't seen anything like that. Big kudos to the 60 minute interview. 60-minute interview, I thought was good. I thought Deion's Deion wherever he goes. So I'm happy. I'm happy that they had the opportunity to share. Deion had the opportunity to share with him. So we'll see.